I'm Berks County Commissioner Christian Leinbach, and I want to welcome you to our Board of Commissioners meeting for July the 29th. We are broadcasting live via Microsoft Teams, also on BCTV, and also through Facebook and YouTube Live. At this time, I'd like to recognize my executive assistant, Mary Buer. You need to push the button.
Thank you. Public comment?
Yeah.
Does everybody have their?
Excuse me. Public comment will be accepted in person and through the Q&A function. So please include your first name, last name, and municipality for all comments. Any comments without name and municipality will not be considered. Each citizen can submit one comment. Comment length is dictated by limitations of the platform being used. Teams, Q&A, Facebook, YouTube. In-person comments will be accepted first, followed by comments submitted virtually. The meeting comment period is limited to a total of 30 minutes, including both in-person and virtual comments. This time period may be extended at the discretion of the board. Please be concise. Comments that are germane to county business will be read during the meeting and should not be considered to be interactive dialogue with the commissioners. The county solicitor shall be the final arbiter of whether a comment is germane and should be read. Any commissioner response to public comment will be done at the discretion of the commissioners.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mary. Before we begin, let me note this is the first in-person meeting. As we made a commitment last summer, as we were in a virtual environment, we committed that we were going to continue the virtual environment once we came back in person. So much of the last 3 to 4 weeks have been spent rewiring this room so that we're able to broadcast via the various platforms that I outlined. If you notice, BCTV is no longer having to come in and set up their cameras here. They're able to work off of the feed that we're able to provide them. But since it is the first time, there'll be some glitches here and there. I apologize in advance for any of those technical glitches that may take place. As we always do, let's begin first with a moment of silence and then followed by a pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As we've done over many recent months, we will open with the Berks County COVID-19 data report. This is being presented by Brian Gottschall. Brian Gottschall is the director of the Berks County Department of Emergency Services and also the lead for the Berks County COVID-19 leadership team. Brian Gottschall.
Good morning, commissioners. Thank you. Yes, July 29th, we had originally anticipated that this may be the last of our delivery of these data reports, but I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end. Taking a look, as we always do, at cases and testing throughout the county, we again, as we have for the last few weeks, see testing remaining relatively flat. But despite that, case counts are continuing to rise as they have over the last approximately 2 weeks after reaching a belly or a low in the beginning of July. This is not surprising given what we've all heard about in the news, the prevalence of the Delta variant, and the fact that that variant is able to more easily spread among people. The estimations are an R0 of 6 as compared to 3 for the original virus, so twice as transmissible. The good news is that it doesn't appear to be more significantly impacting of someone who does contract the virus, and it also appears to have a great deal of susceptibility to our vaccines, or said differently, that our vaccines continue to be very helpful in regard to that variant for those who are vaccinated. Our hospitals continue to be in great shape. Small bump in the numbers from last week. I do want to remind everybody that we asked the hospitals to provide us both known and suspected cases in-house. So these numbers are actually slightly higher than they might be if we were asking them only for known cases. We've seen single-digit numbers published by Reading Hospital in recent news reports for actual confirmed COVID cases in-house. The great news, of course, is that our deaths continue to remain relatively flat. We're seeing a single individual, unfortunately, passing with COVID on a weekly basis in general over the last few weeks. And no matter what happens with the spread of the virus, we certainly hope that that number continues to remain as it is. And we know that the best way to do that is to ensure that those who are likely to suffer ill effects of COVID are vaccinated to help tamp down the impact of the virus. Taking a look at vaccinations, as we have for many weeks now, we remain 9th in the Commonwealth, not surprising based on our population. However, in the last week, we did gain 3 positions for those fully vaccinated, up to 25th per capita, and remain flat at 23rd per capita with respect to those with a single dose on board, or at least a first dose on board, I should say. With respect to our 70% goal, and I want to take a moment here and just mention that people should not be surprised if we see the federal or state public health authorities begin to talk about a change in this 70% number. I know that that could raise some hackles and people will see it as a moving of the goal. People need to understand that the change in the transmissibility of this Delta variant means that effectively, in order to really stop the pandemic, we need to have more people vaccinated in order to not allow the disease to spread, because this new variant is more easily spread than prior variants. So I just wanted to pause there and say, while we're still talking about the 70% goal, people should not be surprised if they begin to see an adjustment in this number with the objective of achieving this herd immunity. In Berks County, according to CDC data, as of yesterday, we are at 57.6% of the population over the age of 18 having been vaccinated, slightly behind the state as a whole at 62.6%. I'm sorry. Got a little excited there on the cursor wheel. What are we doing here in Berks? How are we contributing? We are down to about 5,250 new folks needing to start the process. But I think it is important to note that that takes into account all of those individuals who have already begun the process going back for their second dose. And we're starting to see some concerning numbers where our at least first dose number is not changing dramatically to our fully vaccinated number, which could, of course, indicate that there are folks out there who have received their first dose and then have subsequently elected not to go back and get their second dose. I think that all the science indicates that with respect to the messenger RNA vaccines, that are 2-dose vaccines, that second dose is really necessary to provide the level of protection that we're all looking for, and folks should really take the time, make the effort to go back and get that second dose of those vaccines that require it. We are at the end of the closing of our jointly operated vaccine clinic in Muhlenberg Township with BCHC, Berks Community Health Center, and the county having operated that facility for a number of months now. There's still a couple days left. You can go there tomorrow. You can go there on Saturday and you can still receive a vaccine. They are accepting walk-ins, and we would certainly encourage anybody who's on the fence to take the time now and make that commitment prior to that clinic being closed. Of course, once that clinic is closed, there are still many resources in the community, and our public information and external affairs person, Steph Weaver, I know will continue to update our Do Your Part Berks website to help people to know where those opportunities are as the county becomes aware of them. The last thing I want to mention is what I kind of started out on. Early in the summer, we had all spoken as a team and decided that we were going to terminate this delivery of this weekly report in conjunction with the closure of our vaccine clinic. And at that time, we were all very excited about the downward trend of cases in Berks County and believed that that was going to continue, and we're very hopeful that we were very much on the downside of things. Given the most recent trends that we're seeing upward now, the board is going to continue to evaluate this moving forward, and we may bring this report back in an effort to keep this keenly in the public's eye with respect to how COVID is circulating in our community. I think that that decision is yet to be made and is likely going to be dependent on what the data and statistics look like over the next few weeks. We internally will continue to compile this information and have it available for the board to review, and then the board will determine whether it's prudent that we bring that information back and take the time during these meetings to make it available to the public. So that's all I have, Commissioner. Back to you, unless there are any questions.
Thank you very much, Brian. Any questions for Brian Gottschall? Thank you, Brian. We'll move to Commissioner Kevin Barnhart with a report on Coe County Wellness and the vaccine clinic.
Good morning. Welcome, everyone. Thank you, Brian Gottschall, for your report, as well as Commissioner Weinbach for announcing. We are now in a phase with Coe County Wellness. They will be reporting to us every other week, so I don't have a report this week about their numbers of contact tracing. We'll have that next week. Coe County Wellness, as was mentioned, will continue to take calls for people looking for vaccine appointments, even though our vaccine center will be closing on Saturday. The 888 number will no longer be used. At this point, you will call Coe County Wellness directly for any information you might want to gather as to the numerous places in Berks County where you can start your vaccine. Our total to date at the vaccine center at the North Reading Plaza has been 5,518. Of those, 3,931 were scheduled, so we had a significant number of walk-ins, which we weren't necessarily encouraging because appointments were critical, but we really appreciate well over 1,000 people came in off the street. Continue to provide free bus service on Route 1 and 3, as well as shared ride service. So we have about 85 people left to go for their second doses at the vaccine center. And at some point in the near future, we still have the space leased through August. Coe County, Community Health Center will be providing testing at the site through the month of August. So we still have utilization of the building. The building will be there in case we need to re-energize it in the fall and winter. So thank you. That's all I have at this point for the vaccine center and Coe County Wellness. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Barnhart. Today, we have a special presentation. Normally, we do this in June, but since we weren't in person, June is National Dairy Month, and we have the Dairy Princess with her court here today. But July is National Ice Cream Month, and we always have the Employee Ice Cream Social on the same day that we recognize the Dairy Princess. And I want to invite them to come up today. And the folks we have with us today is the 2021-22 Berks County Dairy Princess, Michaela Davis. We also have the Berks County Little Miss Dairy Princess, Lily Siegfried. Berks County Dairy Ambassadors, Alexa Davis, Sydney Mayer, Danica Rhodes, and then the Pennsylvania Alternate Dairy Princess, Kristen Johns. Yeah, turn it on.
All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Kristen Johns, and I am the Pennsylvania Alternate Dairy Princess. I come from Bethel, where I live with my mom and dad, Mark and Deb Johns, and I raise my dairy show heifer there. I source my passion for the dairy industry from my grandfather, John Stump, who founded Stumpland Farm in Burnville. It has been quite a while since he passed, but even at a young age, he was able to share his love of his cows, his land, and his family with me. And so I have made it my goal to pass that passion on to others. I did also serve as the 2020-2021 Berks County Dairy Princess, and so that is partially why I'm here today. We were not able to have this last year, and so Berks County graciously invited me to come and experience this, and I am very grateful for that. I do want to remind you that farmers work so hard every single day. And so anytime that you see a farmer, whether they are in the dairy industry or not, they work so diligently and hard to feed us. So take the time to thank them. They deserve it more than you know.
Good morning. My name is Michaela Davis, the 2021-2022 Berks County Dairy Princess. I am the 20-year-old daughter of Mike and Angie Davis of Leesport. We live on a small farm with my parents and my 3 younger siblings where we raise Holstein heifers. I will be a junior at Penn State studying ag business in the fall. I'm very active in my community as I am a member of the Morrisville Church of the Brethren, Arnolani Grange, a softball coach, past 4-H member, and now your Berks County Dairy Princess. Growing up on a farm is where my passion first started. At the age of 5, I was able to share my love for the dairy industry and serve as the Berks County Little Miss. Then we moved off the farm at the age of 10, and that did not stop my spark and passion I had for the dairy industry. My family continued to raise heifers that we show at the fairs, and I continued to be an active member of the dairy industry. I am proud to be this year's Berks County Dairy Princess, where I get to represent all of our hardworking farmers. And with me today is my little miss, and her name is Lily Siegfried. So let's stand up front, Lily. And Lily, can you tell everybody how old you are?
4.
All right. And what is your mom and dad's name?
Jess and Chris.
Jess and Chris. And what is your favorite thing to do?
Dance.
And what kind of dance do you like to do?
Tap and ballet.
All right. Well, Lily has a nice little song for everybody, so I'm going to hand the mic to her, and she's going to go.
I like towels, yes I do. I like towels, protest and blue. Milk is good, milk is sweet. I think milk is really neat. I didn't make ice cream, cheese, and drink. I didn't make more, I just drink. Drink your milk every day, so teeny bad bones away. I like towels, yes I do. I like towels, how about you?
All right, and then with us today, we do have 2 of our dairy ambassadors. A few of them couldn't make it, but 2 of them are here, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Hi, I am Alexa Davis. I'm the 15-year-old daughter of Mike and Angie Davis, and I am in 9th grade at Schuylkill Valley High School.
Hi, I'm Dana Carrodes. I'm the 12-year-old daughter of Darren and Sandy Rhodes, and I will be starting 7th grade at the King's Academy in the fall.
Thank you. And I do have my speech with me, and it is about how you can support your local dairy farmers. 2020 has been a year like no other. With the COVID-19 pandemic, the world was shut down and only essential workers were working. These were occupations like nurses, firefighters, police officers, grocery stores, employees, and most importantly, our farmers. Our farmers never stopped working. No matter what the world around us did, farmers continued to take care of their land and animals. Without farmers, we, people, would not be able to survive, as farmers feed the world. Dairy farmers in particular strive daily to provide us with wholesome and nutritious milk. I'm sure you've heard people say, support your local farmers, and you probably wondered, how can I, the average person, advocate for the dairy industry and make a difference? There are several ways that you can support your local dairy farmers. The easiest way is to buy real milk and dairy products and include them into your everyday diet. Not only are you helping the farmer, but you are refueling your body with nature's most perfect food. Buy local milk from farmers that bottle their own milk and other dairy products. And every time you buy local milk, you are putting money directly into the hands of these farmers at a price they have set. When buying milk at the local grocery stores, make sure you look for plant code 42, which means it was processed in PA and most likely comes from a Pennsylvania dairy farm. Another way to support your local farmer is to educate yourself. There is a lot of false advertisements out there about dairy products and the dairy industry. Advertisements will claim that dairy alternatives such as soy and almond beverages are better for you than real milk. But did you know that dairy has 13 essential nutrients that occur in milk? For almond, soy, and dairy alternatives, those nutrients are processed in. Many people have no idea how a farm operates, but farmers are most likely willing to answer your questions, and they may even let you visit the farm so you can see firsthand on how they run a successful farming operation. Farmers are proud of the care they give their animals, and they are great stewards of the land. So now that you know how to support your local farmer, you may be wondering, why is it so important? Dairy farmers are the backbone of our economy, creating jobs, diversity, and a strong economy. Agriculture is PA's #1 industry, and the dairy industry is the #1 sector of PA agriculture. Pennsylvania has over 7,300 dairy farms and produces over 10.8 billion pounds of milk a year, which contributes to roughly $7 billion in economic revenue. More than 98% of these farms are family-owned businesses. While producing milk, they spend most of their money locally. About 85% of their income is used to support local businesses and the community tax base. In doing so, dairy farms create a ripple effect on both the agriculture industry and the economic well-being of the Commonwealth. When a dairy farm spends money locally, it creates a multiplier effect of 2 times the original dollar. The dairy industry and related businesses provide quality jobs to Pennsylvania citizens. A wide range of jobs are available in dairy-related supported industries such as sales, services, veterinarians, nutritionists, accountants, engineers, and bank lenders. Research shows that every 9 cows in Pennsylvania support 1 job somewhere within the Commonwealth. Within the 530,000 cows in PA, approximately 60,000 jobs in Pennsylvania are available as a result of the dairy industry. Pennsylvania is located within approximately a day's drive from 50% of the U.S. population, 40% of the Canadian population, and the East Coast seaports. In addition to supplying its own fluid milk needs, PA is exported to other regions of the U.S. and the world to meet a global demand. Revenue generated from exported Pennsylvania milk is returned to the farmer and circulated back into the community. As a result, Pennsylvania dairy farms provide stimulation to both local and state economies, providing a truly ideal model for sustainable economic development. Pennsylvania milk is an export product. Milk is produced in PA, is sold along the East Coast, and revenue returns to Pennsylvania and the reinvested in local communities. These factors show you how the dairy industry is so vital to PA and how you can support your local farmers. One person can make a difference, and you can be that person. Supporting your dairy farmers by buying real milk and dairy products and educating yourself about the dairy industry is the least you can do for an industry that has given us so much to our economy and food supply. Dairy products are nutrient-rich, affordable, readily available, and contain those 13 essential nutrients found in completely natural form. Milk is an amazing product, and so are the dairy farmers that work hard to give us this nutritious product. Thank you. With that being said, we just want to thank you for having us come in today, and make sure you stop and get some ice cream from us afterwards.
Thank you very much. It doesn't seem that long ago, but it's probably 10 or 12 years ago that Michaela Davis, I think you were in elementary school. You were 5 years old. That's really scary. Helped me do show a cow over what was then the Reading Fair and is now the Berks County Fair. And you are the secretary, I believe, for the Berks County Fair. So you continue to grow, and your team, I remember John Stump as well. A great guy, great families. I want to recognize our Department of Ag too. This is all through our Department of Ag. We have Tammy Hildebrand, our director, and our brand new deputy director, Emily Wangolo, here from our Berks County Department of Ag. After the meeting, we have some certificates for you. We'll do some photographs as well. And I also want to thank the leaders that are here. And I don't know all your names, so I don't be offended that I know Angie and Donna. I've known them for a number of years, but we really appreciate all that you do, because the Dairy Princess couldn't do what they do without parents that support them. And I've seen you at many different events supporting their efforts and the very good message about the dairy industry and the truth in advertising when it comes to milk, because you don't hear a lot of that these days. So thank you very much. Any other comments before we move on?
Just want to thank the ladies for their participation today. I really appreciate the information. And Lily, quite the singing voice. You have a future.
And so I like cows. Everyone likes cows? There you go.
I want to thank them as well. Great job. Not everyone will stand up here and talk or give a speech or even sing, so great job.
I want to note that we did have 2 executive sessions, one on July 27th dealing with personnel, and one on July 28th dealing with real estate, personnel, litigation, and contract negotiations. Are there any additions for the minutes from the July 22nd Commissioner meeting minutes? Hearing none, the minutes will stand approved as presented. Is there any public comment on specific agenda items?
No, there isn't.
Okay. Item 1, authorizing. Under that, Budget Department, adopt a resolution authorizing 2021 budget transfers in the amount of $102,929 and 2021 appropriations in the negative amount of $62,376 per listing dated July the 26th of 2021. We have one item listed under Human Resources, authorize the promotion of Rex Levengood from Interim Director of Facilities and Operations to Director of Facilities and Operations in the Facilities Department. Purchasing, several items listed. Adopt a resolution authorizing the award and Director of Contracts and Procurement to execute 4 agreements as a result of an invitation to bid for food provisions for a period of 1 year for the jail system and the Berksheim. The winners are Metropolitan Foods out of Wayne, New Jersey. Estimated annual expenditure, $434,144.63. Foods Galore out of Pennsauken, New Jersey. Estimated annual expenditure of $313,795.60. National Food Group out of Novi, Michigan. Estimated annual expenditure of $36,393. Bimbo Bakeries out of Albany, New York. Estimated annual expenditure of $158,197.16. There's one item listed under me. Adopt a resolution authorizing the reappointment of Brian Clemens, Warnersville, Pennsylvania, to the Berks County Solid Waste Authority for a 5-year term expiring on December 31st of 2026. There's several items listed under the commissioners. Item A, adopt a resolution authorizing the chair to execute the Child Welfare Education for Leadership program between the County of Berks, Tammy Buchanan, an employee of the Berks County Children and Youth Services, and the University of Pittsburgh of the Commonwealth System of Higher Ed to participate in a graduate level social program as outlined in Title 4B, Part 1 of the Commonwealth's Child and Family Services Plan. Item B, adopt a resolution authorizing the chair to execute the Seawell, which is the same program, between the same entities, but this is for Rebecca Mill. Item C, adopt a resolution authorizing execution of the drawings authorizing acquisition of right-of-way for the Spring Valley Road section right-of-way dated July 6th of 2021 as prepared by C.C. Johnson and Mahaltra pertaining to lands affected by the Spring Valley Road. This is the Ebling Memorial Bridge, a county bridge replacement project crossing the Bernhardt Creek in Muhlenberg Township. Item D, adopt a resolution authorizing execution of the application to encumber liquid fuels tax refunds Penndot from MS 340 for the 2021 Guide Rail Improvement Program. This project addresses guide rail improvements at 2 county-owned bridges. The bridges are noted. Item E, adopt a resolution authorizing the chair to execute an amendment to the Family Center Grant Agreement, extending the term an additional 9 months through June 30th of 2022. Item F, adopt a resolution authorizing execution of an amendment to the subgrant for forensic science improvement combating opioids to the Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency due to personnel changes. Item 2, a motion authorizing execution of contract agreements and amendments as set forth on the attached listing dated July the 27th of 2021. There are a total of 12 contracts. There's one with the Area Agency on Aging. There's one with the Berksheim. There are 2 jointly with Children and Youth Services and Juvenile Probation. There's one with Children and Youth Services, 3 with facilities, 1 with the jail, and 3 with the Berks County Library System. And then item 3, a motion to ratify and confirm payments as set forth on the Controller's Office voucher listing dated July the 27th of 2021 and the payment of electronic transfers and employee payroll.
Motion to approve the agenda as presented. Just a special note on the Ebling Memorial Bridge resolution. That is going to ultimately be a turnback bridge to Muhlenberg Township. We have agreed to replace the bridge in its entirety and also make water and sewer upgrades on piping that traverses the bridge structure. So again, I think this is probably our 5th or 6th bridge we were able to successfully convert to another municipality once we replaced it and made significant upgrades in the process. Thank you.
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Commissioner Weinbach, I just would like to note for the record, there were 2 comments that were made that were dismissed because the individual did not follow the policy and procedure. They did not list their municipality associated with those comments. Okay. And obviously a person is limited to 1 comment per meeting. They did make a 3rd comment as well. The individual has a name of James, but no municipality, and he was questioning why his comments that pertain to vaccinations were not read prior to the start of the agenda. No. So just for the record, those were dismissed because the individual did not list their municipality.
Yeah, and we reiterate that under state law, the individuals that have a right to comment in a municipal or county meeting are people that are residents. And therefore, we require the name and the municipality from which an individual, where they live. That's clearly delineated on the agenda. It's clearly delineated at the comments at the beginning. People that signed in obviously did that. That's written, that's requested. So we reiterate that from time to time, we continue to have people that miss that. That's the issue there. So please, let's continue to do that. Any other comments relative to the agenda? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 Opposed? The motion is carried. With that, we will move to our Berks County Treasurer, Dennis Adams, with the Treasurer's report. Dennis?
Good morning.
If you want to move the mic over just a little bit.
Just a little more?
Yeah.
There we go. I'd like to thank the ladies for their presentation on milk. It's always tastefully done and appreciated. Thanks.
Great.
Tastefully done. Aren't you clever?
I'm glad you picked that up, Sandy. We had an opening balance today of $233,707,074.24. A balance to clear of $5,377,871.43, leaving us a general fund balance of $228,320,202.81.
Thank you very much, Dennis. And we'll go now to our county controller, Sandy Graffius, with the controller's report.
It sure feels funny to be back in the commissioner's boardroom, doesn't it?
It does.
I had to dig out a suit from my closet.
I'm glad you dressed appropriately this
I did dress appropriately, yes. We had no payroll this week. Our accounts payable was $12,418,556.93.
Thank you very much, Sandy. With that, we'll turn to our Chief Administrative Officer, Ron Seaman, for your report.
Thank you, Commissioner. First of all, to the royalty with us today, thank you for everything you do for the dairy industry and those that are involved in it, and continue the good work in increasing the size of my waistline with that ice cream. I'd like to offer my congratulations to Rex Levengood on his transition from interim director of facilities to director. In the short while he served in that capacity, he's shown some great promise, and I expect only greater things as time progresses from his leadership. There's a reminder that there's only a few days left to complete the online survey for the Berks County Greenway Park and Recreation Plan. The County Planning Commission and the Berks County Park and Recreation are looking for residents' feedback about the county park system and municipal parks for the upcoming update to the plan. This online survey allows residents to offer input on how to use the park system and what they would like to see in the future. It takes about 10 minutes to complete, and it's totally anonymous. It's available in both English and Spanish, and will conclude this Saturday, July 31st. So if you wish to, please get on the homepage of the county's website at www.countyofberks.com. Click on the link and take the survey and participate by giving that information to assist in the upgrade of the plan. And last, this weekend in our county parks system, we have two offerings. First of all, Friday, tomorrow night, July 30th at 7:15, there is a program being presented entitled Beautiful Bats, featuring the PA Bat Rescue. Witness the wonder of our nighttime friends, the bats. PA Bat Rescue Stephanie Strozensik will guide through the bat facts and fiction and what we can do to help these important species in our backyard. A live bat release will take place at the end of the program. This is a free program, but registration is necessary, and information on how you do that is available on the county's webpage or at the Berks County Park and Recreation Facebook page. And then on Saturday, July 31st, there is a creek program being presented at the Berks County Heritage Center, where you will explore a creek and its surroundings as we discover what lives in and around this watery environment. They will collect microinvertebrates and discuss their unique adaptations and how they are indicators of water quality. They are recommending closed-toed shoes or boots. And again, registration is required for this event, and find those details on the same locations. One final reminder, Epler's One Room School, the C. Howard Heister Canal Center, and the Bingaman Nature Center at Antietam are all open and available for public. Times and days when they are open are available on the county website. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ron. At this time, we will move to commissioner comments, and we'll begin with Commissioner Kevin Barnhart.
Thank you, Ron, and thank you again, Commissioner Leinbach, and public welcome again. I too want to congratulate Rex Levengood on his ascension to Director of Facilities and Operations. He has a lot of energy and a lot of ideas, and I think he's going to do a tremendous job here as the full-time Director of Facilities and Operations. So welcome, Rex Livingood. At 11 a.m. or thereabouts, we have an election board meeting, which the agenda items are, we will review our tour of Gloucester County, New Jersey's facility, and we will review and discuss the audit process in election services, the 2% audit, and the risk limiting audits that were conducted and are required to be conducted after each election. Also, we are a proud supporter of Peggy Reed and her team for the Run for Sam, as depicted on the screen, the 13th Run for Sam. It's in memory of her son. It's a 4-mile race and a 2-mile walk. It'll be Sunday, August 15th at Grings Mill Park in Berks County. We really encourage everyone to come out, whether you walk or run or simply want to come out and participate. It's a great opportunity. And many, if not all of the monies that have been raised have been put back into Grings Mill. If you go to Grings Mill, there's a pavilion on the left-hand side as you go down the hill. That was proceeds from Run for Sam. So we encourage everyone to sign up, www.runforsam.net. You can also walk in that day, but you may not get a t-shirt. I'm also proud to announce that as part of Mount Penn Preserve, which is a cooperative between Alsace Township, Lower Alsace, the city of Reading, the county, and Mount Penn, we are holding our first ever jazz concert at the Liederkranz on August 12th. We're dubbing it Music on the Mountain. It's the day before Jazz Fest actually kicks off, which is August 13th. We are going to doors will open at 5 o'clock. Music will start promptly at 7. It'll go till 9 o'clock. Plenty of activity there. The Liederkranz, it's their wing night, so they have wings available. They'll also have hot dogs and hamburgers. And it'll be presented, the Mount Penn Preservation Jazz Band, featuring Dave Klein. It's going to be a Mardi Gras theme. There will be beads handed out. We really want to just recognize all of the municipalities, the county and the city, Lower Alsace, Alsace, and Mount Penn coming together for tremendous advantages that the mountain has to offer, and also the teamwork involved in this. We have sponsorship from the Pagoda Foundation, from Pagoda Skyline, from Mount Penn Preserve, as well as the Dury Hill Climb group and Bamba, Berks Area Mountain Bike Association. So we are really looking forward to this. We're looking for volunteers. If the ladies need something to do on Thursday evening, August 12th, we'd love to have you come up and volunteer. And we also want spectators. The Liederkranz has seating for 300. We're encouraging people to bring chairs if need be. But I mean, obviously, if you've ever been to an event at the Liederkranz like Oktoberfest, thousands of people can be there. It's just a way to kick off this cooperative spirit on the mountain. We hope to be doing this on an annual basis. The date might change to coincide with Jazz Fest, potentially moving back to the early spring. We wanted to try to do this at the Mount Penn Tower site just for the visual effect of being at the tower, but logistics and time didn't help us very much. So we opted to go to the Liederkranz, which is more than welcome to with open arms. They've actually waived the fee for us to be there. And anyone who wants to come up and hear great jazz music from our local, very famous Dave Klein, it'll be a great opportunity for everyone.
Stick with this for a minute and maybe share with the folks. This is something that's been put together largely and overwhelmingly volunteer. This is not a bunch of taxpayer money that's been spent. Just share with folks how this came together, because this is really your vision.
Well, Lee Olson and myself.
Lee Olson and you.
The actual Music on the Mountain is Lee Olson's brainchild. He and I serve on the Berks Arts Council, and he thought this was a great way to kick off Jazz Fest as well as promote the cooperative team spirit on the mountain. We, for example, supported Bamba last year, Berks Area Mountain Bike Association, as they were trying to elevate their trails from silver to gold. We support the Pagoda Foundation. We support the Pagoda Skyline, and everyone's actually, I think this year celebrates 50 years of Pagoda Skyline. Again, it's all volunteers. That's why I was encouraging anyone who would like to come out and help us either to park cars or help us to serve hot dogs and hamburgers and help with, rubbish removal and things like that. We just think it's a great way now that we're coming out, hopefully much clearer from the pandemic, to just celebrate the great things about our community and the amenities on the mountain. So again, we had our meeting last night, and there's just so much enthusiasm with the Mount Penn Preserve. We are also waiting word from the Department of Community and Natural Resources for a grant for trail and forestry management on the Mount Penn Preserve. We're also undertaking a pagoda trail from the Doubletree to the pagoda. It's a very leisurely 1.5-mile walk. We're working in concert with the city of Reading. There are some concerns at some of the intersections that will cross over and some ADA compliant issues, but it's really a great spirit with these municipalities coming together as the Mount Penn Preserve. And thank you, Commissioner Weinbach, for pointing that out. So we have a great river, we have a great mountain, and we just want to really utilize these assets. And I think some other communities would rephrase that, would love to have the amenities we have right here, like 10 minutes from downtown Reading. Thank you. Lastly, I have magazines from SOS Berks, the Response magazine. We put those out twice a year. They're very insightful, very good information, and it's really focusing this periodical on harm reduction. Our next publication will be the fall and winter, will be focusing on alcoholism. So as you read in the headlines today, we're continue to head in the wrong direction with overdose deaths. We feel frustrated. We've been together probably 5 or 6 years now as a coalition. We just know that there's so much more that can be done in this community to help stem the tide of overdoses. Last but not least, John Archer had commented last week about our goals and objectives for 2021. I went back to our minutes from December 10th, and for the sake of brevity, I had 9 items and I've added 4 to it since then. So I think on August 12th, I believe my colleagues may also be inclined to want to report back out to John Archer and the public as to the status of our goals and objectives for 2021. I'm still compiling my data. Thank you.
It's all about data.
Yes.
Commissioner Rivera.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Leinbach. First of all, it's great to be back in person. It's been a while now. When they said we'd have to wait 3 or 4 weeks because of the technology, it's kind of disappointing. So I'm glad that we are here now. And also glad that we do have the technology to be able to keep on doing it virtually. So it's a hybrid, because we did learn through COVID that people do watch from their homes, that they are interested and may not have the ability to come here to the services center to be in the meeting. So we are happy to be able to offer a hybrid, both in person and virtually as well, to be able to reach out to more of the Berks community. And so I want to thank the IS team. I saw Justin back there somewhere. He's back there in the corner.
And Heather is working.
Oh, she's back there as well. So thank you, Heather and Justin and the rest of the IS team, for helping put this together so that we can reach out more to the Berks community. Sorry about my glasses. I can't read without them, and if I look out, I can't see your faces with them on. So, also want to congratulate Rex, the new director of facilities, as well. We're looking forward to continuing to work with him. He has great ideas to make sure that the county properties and county facilities are well taken care of and maintained. Also, Emily, welcome to the Ag Department. Just this morning, I had a meeting with Emily and Tammy and Pam, and already threw some things on Emily's plate that actually was something we started working on last year right before COVID hit. So I want to pick that up again, and looking forward to working with Emily closely on that. That will benefit the ag community here in Berks County. So welcome. One other item is the Schuylkill River Sojourn starts this Saturday. They're doing it only for 5 days this year due to COVID and other limitations that they've had in reference to that. But from what I understand, a while back already, the first 3 days were sold out. They had a few spots left for the last 2 days. So it's been a great response that they have. As of when I last spoke with them, there was a record 105 people doing the whole trip and camping every night. So that is really, really great. They start off this Saturday at 8:30 p.m. at Jim Dietrich Park in Muhlenberg Township. So if you are in the area and you do have the time, drop by, wish them well, and send them off on the trip that they're doing. I will be there that morning as well. So this is another great thing that's going on, being back in person as well. So to all those who are doing the Schuylkill River Sojourn and those who put it together, thank you very much. This is a great opportunity for Berks County and the surrounding counties as well. And final item is On Sunday, I will be leaving for the CCAP, which is the County Commissioner Association of Pennsylvania conference. It will be Sunday through Wednesday, looking to learn a lot there, meet other commissioners as well. And next Thursday, then I will be presenting on what I learned there and what I took out of it. It's always a great opportunity to go, share, learn. We're just at the one for the National Association of Counties and learned a lot in reference to what opportunities there are available with the ARP dollars, what other counties are doing throughout the nation. So I'm looking forward to these 4 days in Hershey as well, to be able to continue learning and bringing ideas back to Berks County so that we can continue to work together for the betterment of the county.
2 weeks or so meeting next week.
Oh, sorry, in 2 weeks, there's no meeting next week.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Rivera. Real quickly, I know we have comments, and then we also have an election board meeting. Congratulations to Rex Levengood. Rex, just so everyone knows, went through a competitive hiring process. That's what we believe in. We don't want to just give somebody a job. We want them to go through the process, and he was clearly the right choice. Very excited about the work he's done in the deputy role and the work he will do as director. Emily, great to meet you for the first time today. If you have a chance, talk to Emily. She has a fascinating background, spent the last 10 years between Kenya and Uganda. And one of the first things she said is that's given her a great appreciation for what we have in this country, in spite of all of the challenges that we have going on right now. The Schuylkill River Sojourn, just so everyone's aware, obviously this normally happens in June. When it happens in June, they start in Schuylkill County. But this time of the year, that upper section of the river is too low in spots. And so it's not possible to take even kayaks the entire length. That's why they're starting in Jim Dietrich Park. I've spoken virtually every year at the Reading Landing, which normally is on a Monday, but everything's different. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to make it there on Saturday to Jim Dietrich Park, but it is a great event. Sunday at, let me think here, I think it's 3 o'clock. Where's Michaela? Is it 3 o'clock? We have the ribbon cutting to kick off the Berks County Fair. Now, for many people, they know it as the Reading Fair for many, many years, and the Reading Fair was tied back to the Reading Fairgrounds, racing, and all of the things that come with that. The focus is changed. It is now the Berks County Fair, and the focus is agriculture, and I think that is extremely exciting. That's one of the reasons you see Michaela Davis as the secretary of the Berks County Fair. So I want to encourage people to come out, support the Berks County Fair as they begin to rebuild, and I am hoping it becomes one of the biggest agricultural fairs in the Commonwealth, and it can. Ag is our #1 industry by revenue in the county of Berks. And then I also will note, I will be going, I think all three of us are up at the County Commissioners Association annual conference. It's the first in-person meeting since November of 2019. Because our spring conference was canceled the end of March of 2020 because of the pandemic. So looking forward to seeing a number of people that I haven't seen for well over a year. That is all that I have. At this time, are there any comments from row officers? Sandy Graffius.
I just want you to know that I had absolutely no experience when they asked me if I'd lead a cow around. And so I said, yes, I'd do it. And I got there to the fairgrounds, and luckily there was a 12-year-old there to guide me. And he said to me, if the cow lifts its tail, get out of the way.
That's good advice.
Yeah, and I wasn't quite sure what he was talking about. And so I said, all right. let's go here. And I'm yanking on the count and the cow's just standing there. It's like, he was not responding to me at all. So I looked to my little mentor and I said, make him go. And he did.
And they did.
And I jumped out of the way when he lifted his tail, by the way.
That's smart. We won't go into any more detail. That will be too much detail. So any other row officer comments? Hearing none, we're going to go to public comment. And I know this has been a question. Here's how it's going to be handled. Part of it was dealt with. People that are in person and sign up by 10 o'clock will be recognized first. And I have a list of their names, municipality, and I'll share the topic. Then we will take online comments, and then anyone that showed up after 10 o'clock, and I have that list here, will be recognized after that. There's a maximum of 30 minutes. We can extend it. I can tell you we're not going to extend it today simply because we have another meeting right after this. And don't worry, it's supposed to start at 11 o'clock. We put a notice, our IS department puts a notice up for people that are joining virtually so they understand that there's a delay, but that we will be going on to that meeting. So we will begin with the in-person. Let me remind you that if you're in person, please step up to the microphone in the middle of the aisle. You don't need to state your name and where you're from because I'm going to be doing that, but you will have 3 minutes to make your comment. And the comment again must be consistent to the topic that's been provided. So the first person on the list is Randy Toman from Boyertown. The topic is audit. No comment at this time? Okay, that's fine. The second is Roy Timpey, Lower Alsace. The comment is audit.
Yeah, good to see you guys in person. I've sent emails to all three commissioners, and I just want to reiterate that there's no technical reason to decertify a machine if a competent third-party auditor examines a machine. This decertification threat is just a political move, and providing, of course, the auditor is competent. And I also would like you guys to consider a memorializing resolution that you would encourage the Pennsylvania Senate to undertake whatever audit they deem prudent, because our entire government is based on obtaining the consent of the governed, and a lot of the information swirling about the 2020 election, gives a lot of doubt as to whether or not we have achieved the consent of the governed. Thanks.
Thank you. The next presenter is Jay Wenzel, Douglasville, PA. Audit. We're not involved in the Second Amendment, so there's no Second Amendment discussion unless it directly relates to county business. Okay? You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm just here. Yeah, I think we should recommend to have a full forensic audit for this county and for all counties in PA. Okay. And that's my opinion. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I'll recognize my executive assistant, Mary Buer, for online comments.
John Archer, Spring Township. Commissioners, regarding the recent...
Your microphone. Could you restart, please?
Regarding the recent authorization of funds for the Reading Fighting Phils and the Sovereign Center, were the authorizations contingent on how these funding grants are to be spent by these recipients? For example, were these grants to be limited to the physical facilities improvements, or would, thank you, or could they be used for any general fund expenditures, including management bonuses? In other words, do we really know how these recipients will be budgeting and spending their funding? That's John Archer from Spring Township. And then Crystal Kowalski, why I'm missing. Good morning, commissioners. Given that the resolution to change commenting policy in the commissioners' board meetings passed 2 weeks ago and now is in effect. Could you please explain the procedure for the below changes? First, what will the procedure be to allow the public to register a comment if they arrive late to a meeting, or if they would like to address an issue that arose during the meeting? Second, what will the procedure be to declare a comment not germane? Will the person's name, municipality, and specific topic of comment be announced and recorded in the minutes? I believe it is instrumental to transparency to have the topic announced and recorded in the minutes so that the new policy can be monitored. Thank you.
Okay. We have
just one moment.
People, that's it.
One moment. I'm trying to get it up here.
It doesn't have a last name.
It does not have a last name. It is in response to what Ms. Sadler had mentioned, that he had not put his municipality. He now has his municipality in. Not sure how we want to.
Go ahead. I'd rather, if there's a question, we prefer to have a person's last name. There's no way to confirm that that person of a first name actually is from that area. But if I have to make a decision, I'm going to make it on the side of free speech. So let's go ahead and read it. And James, in the future, please give us your last name as well as where you're from. Thank you. And I see your comment. We have been very clear on this for over a year. So it's not something that we hide, that we need a person's name and municipality. So I just want to make that clear. Go ahead, Mary.
So it's James. I live in Boyertown. I did not know about the technicality for asking questions, which is bizarre, considering you are all public servants. It's okay, though. I found Brian Gottschall's information on the county's website, and I will be giving him a call. Since I apparently used my question, I'll be attending the next meeting to ask about the county's willingness to participate in a forensic audit of the 2020 election. I urge you to look into last week's developments in Arizona. There were 75,000 illegitimate ballots due to voter registration after Election Day. Margin of victory was 12,000, and Georgia, and this week's developments in Wisconsin, where LAA's voter integrity project yielded 157,000 illegitimate ballots. Margin of victory was 20,000. The people demand an immediate audit of Berks County election rolls and a concurrent forensic audit of Berks County's 2020 election results. And that does conclude the Q&A.
Okay, thank you. Two other individuals, yes, Josiah, I believe it is, Summers, Coveted Township, regarding full forensic audit. Oh, there it is, okay. All right. Sure, if you want to step up to the microphone, all right, you have 3 minutes.
Hello, commissioners. I am commenting today on behalf of myself and many other citizens, residents in Berks County, in my township in Boyertown, to conduct a full forensic audit. We are demanding that you, as the commissioners of this county, conduct a immediate, full, 100% investigative audit to the scope that Senator Doug Mastriano is initiating for York, Tioga, and Philadelphia counties. I've spoken with many residents of Colebrookdale Township. I've went around my neighborhood lately, knocking on doors, asking people to add their support for this endeavor. And I would say a good 75% of the people that I've talked with have shared my concerns and also want to have their concerns looked into. We are seeing incredible cases of fraud and irregularities already in what's been uncovered so far. Just to name a few, there were 3,965 voters backfilled into the SURE system around the time of the November 3rd, 2020 election in Berks County. There were 956 duplicate registrations, 32,065 first-time voters. There were 2,034 inactive voters, 282 mail-in ballots that were recorded but didn't have any voter ID in the SURE system. How can we know the identity of the person who voted if they didn't submit their ID? How do we know if they're a real person? 2,476 mail-in ballots counted that were received after November 3rd. 333 mail-in ballots recorded that were sent out of state. 10,520 registrations removed from the voter rolls between the week of the election and February 1st, 2021. There are 3 Pennsylvania mothers out in the Pittsburgh area that have taken it upon themselves to start a grassroots initiative to gather support around the whole state for a full forensic audit. And there's already over 76,000 signatures to that audit, to that petition, over 110,000 signatures nationwide for that. There are many other cases of fraud and irregularities that have been discovered through, to name an example, retired Army Intelligence Captain Seth Keschel, who's a trained data analyst. His experience, including political involvement requiring a knowledge of election trends and voting behavior, has put much time into analyzing data from the 2020 election. And in that, he found that our state of Pennsylvania to be one of the states, if not the state, with the worst fraud. Out of the PA counties, he found Berks had major fraud, some of the worst in the whole state. And he found that in Berks County, there were about 20,000 excess votes. Across the whole state, he found approximately 504,000 excess votes. And he found that Trump was cheated by 424,000 votes. So I am encouraging that.
The time is up. If we let you extend, we're going to have to let everybody extend. I apologize.
But I thank you for hearing my complaints.
You can have my time.
Our next speaker is Warren Summers, also Cobrookdale Township, also regarding full forensic audit.
Thank you, commissioners and everyone present, for allowing us to speak our freedom of speech here. I'm the father of Josiah. I've been really appalled by how this election was conducted in 2020. I highly recommend that if you doubt our claims about this, that you watch the Mike Lindell films that go into absolute proof of the election fraud throughout our country. There's also a man that testified and confessed to helping to switch the elections in Italy. His name is Arturo De Elia. He was an IT specialist who worked in the embassy, American embassy in Rome. He was paid by other people to carry this out. Also, Renzi of Italy was involved with this, even the Pope of Rome. This is a sham of election. Our votes were stolen here in Pennsylvania, many other states, and I just want to let you all know, until this is rectified, we will never remain silent. Until we have a free and fair election, there's no free country anymore. And so we've had enough. We haven't been involved with politics much before, but after what we saw what happened, and the rallies were huge for Trump, they were hardly negligent for Biden. So anyway, it was clearly a rigged election. And not only the president was cheated, many other officers, political officers, were cheated because whole ballots were taken and destroyed. I heard stories that even several piles of a whole truckload was burned. And so it wasn't just the president's office at stake here. There were senators, there were representatives.
Let's stick to the county.
Yeah, okay.
Please.
But I believe also county officials were cheated this time, but we cannot tolerate or accept this any longer. This is a travesty to this state, to this county, and to this nation. We must not tolerate it again.
Okay.
So you'll see more of us.
Thank you. That closes our,
Is it possible for me to redeem the time because I made a terrible mistake? I thought it was my questioning would be held over for the election.
it will. The election is also a public meeting, and that's where we're going to talk about the audit. We're not going to talk about it now. So that you were not misinformed. I believe Commissioner Barnhart told you that. Yeah. Yeah,
I can hold my peace until next meeting.
yeah, that's where we're going to discuss the audits. That closes the public comment at this time. I understand, Pam, you're going to address the comment relative to John Archer and the American Rescue Plan dollars for Santander, and I would address both Santander and the Reading Phillies lost revenue.
And commissioners, I apologize. I was,
We need to read her the question.
Quiet, please.
Christian, you need to read her the question. She was going out.
Okay, let me read the question. Come on, we need quiet here. This deals with the American Rescue Plan money for lost revenue. John is asking, are there specific limitations on how it can be used by the recipient, Santander Arena, Reading Phillies? And since you have been very involved in this, if you can explain what the American Rescue Plan lost revenue dollars are based upon, how they get it, and how it is able to be used by the recipient.
Sure. So what we are able to do right now with those dollars, and we are operating under an interim role from the Department of Treasury, but very specifically, the guidance will indicate that there is a negative economic impact on impacted industries. And that's what allowed the Santander Arena. When I say the Arena and Performing Arts Center, I'm really referring to the Berks County Convention Center Authority as the owner of those facilities.
Excuse me, you gotta look
and also,
we're gonna have to ask you to leave if you can't be quiet. We're broadcasting. Please. Very disrespectful.
and also not to the stadium, but to Reading Baseball LP, because one of the things under the American Rescue Plan that is recognized is the fact that the impacted industries have not been well addressed by the resources that have been available at either the federal or the state level. And so what we did was take a look at the operating revenues of both of those entities to use that as documentation of eligibility for the negative economic impact. And actually, our controller's office is taking a look at the full financials for both of those entities, because the resolutions as stated and adopted by the commissioners were in amount up to $3 million or 50% of those lost revenues, whichever was less, is able to be funded under the American Rescue Plan. So that documentation is underway now. Contracts are being drafted. And one of the things that we will ensure with that is that we are appropriately documenting all of the information that we receive, because we fully expect that we will be monitored and audited for all of the dollars that we are looking to encumber and expend under the American Rescue Plan. So we will continue to come forward to the commissioners for.
So how can the core of the question was in lost revenue? I know the answer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Lost revenue, how can it be spent? And lost revenue is treated as
It is lost revenue. So in this particular instance, it was their operating accounts that experienced the negative economic impact, and that is the eligibility for American Rescue Plan. Sorry for the long
The
answer.
answer is they can spend it on anything they would have spent revenue on.
Absolutely.
In the past.
Absolutely.
That's what the law, and
does not pertain to a specific project.
Right.
That's
and
right.
Unlike CARES, these entities didn't
They did not qualify.
They didn't qualify.
They did not
I
qualify.
think one got some PPE.
They were able to
Santander,
undertake some PPE at
and Reading
Santander,
Phillies
and that was it.
got PPP.
Which was a loan because they were able to keep their staff
Employees
fully intact.
Right.
Mhm.
So this is different than the CARES Act. And it can be used for virtually anything they would use normal revenue for.
Operating, yes. Mhm.
Correct.
Yeah, so if I might add, there's been 3 rounds of CHIRP grants for businesses. There has been shuttered venue money.
Right.
All of those opportunities were not afforded to the Reading Fightin' Phils and the Santander Arena.
Right.
They didn't qualify for some bizarre reason. You'd think they would have qualified under shuttered venue opportunities, but they didn't fit.
The Convention Center Authority has did apply to shuttered venue, but did not receive an award. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Other comments before we move to our election meeting?
Commissioner Lineback, if I can just make clear, because of questions we were asked about it. In last Thursday's meeting, there were no comments that were dismissed. Every comment that was made was read. There was only one comment last week. In today's meeting, there was a total of 5 comments that were dismissed. 3 of them were for James because of the municipality issue prior to him correcting that. And then there was an individual from YouTube, Harry Rhodes, that didn't list his municipality, so that comment was dismissed regarding COVID numbers. And there was an individual that was asking about the audit that was anonymous, did not list name or municipality. So just to be clear, because there were some questions raised about how we know when comments are dismissed and for what reasons. Those are the topics. Those are the reasons why those comments were dismissed.
Thank you very much. And for you handle that each week?
Yes, I think it's important for transparency purposes because there were some allegations made that this potentially was a methodology for the commissioners
to shut down people we don't want to hear from.
Correct.
We don't do that. And in the case of James's example, if I had to make a decision, I'm going to make a decision on the side of free speech. I said the same thing. If the topic is ambiguous, it could be county, maybe it couldn't be. I'm going to allow it as the chair, but we want to focus on county business. Anything else? Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Meeting stands adjourned. We will reconvene in a matter of minutes. Yeah, yes.